If you own a home in Bayside, Queens right now, I need you to watch this video because what I'm about to share with you is pulled directly from our multiple listing service. Real data, real sales, real numbers from your neighborhood. Not Zillow estimates, not headlines, actual closed transaction. I'm Maureen Folan and I've been selling real estate in Queens for close to 30 years. Today, we're doing a full market update on Bayside, Queens, one of the most desirable communities in all of New York City. We're gonna cover what homes are actually selling for right now, how fast they're moving, what price ranges are the sweet spot, the school districts, the neighborhoods within Bayside, and why buyers are still fighting over this zip code. Whether you're thinking about selling, just curious about your home's value, or you're a buyer trying to figure out if Bayside is worth it, stay with me because this is going to give you a real edge. Let's get into it. Before we get into the numbers, let's talk about why Bayside commands the prices that it does, because understanding the demand is just as important as understanding the data. Bayside is located in northeastern Queens, nestled between Little Neck Bay and the Cross Island Parkway. It has the feel of a suburban neighborhood, but you're still in New York City. That combination is valuable. The neighborhood actually spans several distinct pockets. You've got Bay Terrace near the water, which commands some of the highest prices in Bayside. You've got Auburndale on the southern end, which offers more affordability while still benefiting from the Bayside name. And then the core of Bayside itself. Everything around Bell Boulevard, 26th Avenue, and the streets leading towards Crowstrom Park. Bell Boulevard is the heartbeat of this community. You've got restaurants, coffee shops, local businesses. It's walkable, it's vibrant, and it gives Bayside that town center feel that most Queens neighborhoods just don't have. And commuters, Bayside has two Long Island Railroad stations, Bayside and Auburndale, both on the Port Washington line. You're looking at roughly 30 minutes into Penn Station. For people who need to get into Midtown Manhattan, that is a game changer. That alone adds hundreds of dollars of value to every home on these streets. There are also incredible parks. Crowstrom Park sits right at the water's edge with the ball fields, tennis courts, and waterfront access. Fort Totten is nearby for hiking and history. And then you have Oakland Lake Park. These are not small amenities. Families choose Bayside specifically because of the green space. And speaking of families, let's talk about schools because this is one of the biggest reasons Bayside real estate holds its value, and it will continue to do so. Bayside falls primarily within New York City School District 26, which is consistently ranked as one of the top performing schools in all of New York City. I want you to really hear that. Out of 32 school districts in New York City, School District 26 is routinely in the top 2 or 3. Some of the schools serving Bayside students include PS 31, serving the Bayside Hills area. Then you have PS 203 in Oakland Gardens. You have IS 25, which is a well-regarded intermediate school. And then you have Bayside High School, which is one of the most recognized high schools in Queens with strong academic programs and a long tradition of college placement. And then there are specialized programs in Cardozo High School. I actually went there, and is known for its advanced academics. Bayside also feeds into specialized high school pipelines like Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, Brooklyn Tech, and at a higher rate than most New York City zip codes. Here's what this means for you as a homeowner or buyer. School quality is the invisible price floor under every home in this neighborhood. Even in a softer market, even when interest rates rise, School District 26 keeps demand from collapsing. Buyers with school-aged children will sacrifice nearly everything else just to get into this district. I've sat at listing tables where a seller has said, "I don't think my house is worth that much," and I show them the school data and they soon understand. The schools are not a nice to have in Bayside, they are a core part of what you own. Okay, let's get into the numbers because this is what you came for. I pulled 81 sold single-family home transactions in Bayside covering the last 6 months throughout March 2026. These are actual closed sales, not asking prices, not zestimates, not what someone hopes to get. The price range in Bayside from single-family homes sold from a low $739,000 all the way up to $1.8 million. That is over $1 million spread, which tells you something very important about the diversity of the products in this market. Look at where the bulk of the transactions cluster. The median sold price for Bayside single-family homes sit right around 1.1 to 1.2. If you want a simple number to anchor to, Bayside is a $1.1 million neighborhood. This is your floor for a move-in ready, reasonably sized home. The top third of the market, larger homes, premium streets, and renovated condition, routinely clears anywhere from 1.3 all the way up to 1.8. The entry-level product, smaller homes, older condition, Some needing updating, still find buyers in the $739,000 to the $950,000 range. And even there, these are not throwaway properties. These are solid homes in an incredible community that hold their value. In terms of what you get for these prices, most homes are between 1,000 to 2,500 square feet of above grade living area. The typical Bayside single family is a 3 or 4 bedroom home built anywhere from 1910 to 1965, often on lots of 2,000 to 5,000 square foot. You're looking at the classic Queens housing stock, colonials, capes, Tudors, some brick ranches with a sprinkling of newer construction on the higher end. The two things that stood out to me in this data is that I think are important for sellers to understand. First is the price per square foot. Based on sold data, Bayside is trading at a roughly $550 to $650 per square foot for a typical home, and obviously higher for a renovated product. Lower for dated condition. If your home is 1,500 square feet and fully updated, that math puts you in a conversation around $825,000 to $975,000. If your home is 1,500 square feet and fully updated, that math puts you around a conversation of around $825,000 to $975,000 or higher, depending on lot, location, and the number of bedrooms. If you've ever had an agent walk through your home and talk to you about what these numbers mean for your specific house, that conversation is free and it's eye-opening. Second, let's talk about days on the market. This is really where Bayside's strength really shows. The majority of homes in this data set sold under 60 days. Many sold under 30. I even saw properties in 7 to 18 day range. The fastest moving homes were the ones that were priced right, presented well, hit the market clean. Those were gone in 2 to 3 weeks. Now there are the outliers. A handful of listings sat for 80 to 100, even 125 days. And when I look at those numbers, the pattern is always almost the same. They were either overpriced at launch, or they had condition issues that weren't addressed, or even both. The market is telling us something clear. Hey, I wanted to share something for free. I prepared a home seller preparation checklist for residents of Queens and Long Island. This guide will give you everything you need to know about preparing your home for sale. So if you click on the link below in the comments, you'll download your own copy for free. Or if you visit MaureenFolan.com, you'll be able to get your seller checklist there. So thank you so much, and let's get back to it. Priced right and presented well, Bayside homes sell fast. The properties that linger, they're fighting the market, and the fighting of the market is expensive. Every week on the market is a negotiating chip handed to the buyer. Let me give you a few real examples from this data to make it concrete. A 3-bed, 2-bath colonial on 215 Place, just under 2,000 square foot, built in 1950, sold for $1,220,000. That's $628 per square foot. A 4-bed, 2-bath stone Tudor on 28th Avenue, 2,093 square feet, built in 1940, sold for $1.230. Classic Bayside character, still commanding top dollar. A 3-bed, 2-bath on 204th Street, approximately 1,200 square feet, sold for $973,000 in December. Smaller footprint, but still nearly $1 million because the address is Bayside. On the higher end, a 4-bed colonial on Corporal Kennedy Street, just over 3,000 square foot, newly built in 24-25, closed at a whopping $1,800,000. That's your ceiling, and new construction is pushing it. These aren't flukes. This is the market, consistently, reliably, month after month. So why is this demand so strong? Let me give you 3 reasons. Number 1, supply is tight. Bayside is a built-out neighborhood. Unlike suburban developments, there are no tracts of land being developed here. When a home comes to the market in Bayside, it's a real event. Buyers know this, agents know this. The moment a correctly priced listing hits one key MLS, the phones start ringing within hours. In the last 12 months I analyzed, we had 81 sales in a neighborhood of tens of thousands of homes. This is a tiny percentage of the housing stock turning over. Low supply with consistent demand equals price support. Number 2, the buyer pool is deep and diverse. Bayside attracts buyers from all across the spectrum. You have young families relocating from Manhattan and Brooklyn who've done their math and realize their money goes a lot further here. You have Asian American buyers, Korean, Chinese, South Asian, one of the dominant buyer demographics in Bayside for decades and continue to be. You now have first-generation immigrants, now firmly middle class, who view Bayside home ownership as a milestone. And you have move-up buyers within Queens itself who are trading from Flushing or Jackson Heights or Elmhurst as their families and finances grow. This isn't one type of buyer. This is a deep, multi-layered demand base. And that diversity of demand is a protective factor for the market. And number 3, the rate environment has adjusted to a new normal. Look, nobody loves higher interest rates, but buyers have adjusted. The buyers we're working with right now have accepted the fact that 6.5% to 7% is a world that they're operating in if they want to buy a home in today's market. And they're moving forward anyways, because the alternative, waiting for rates to drop while prices continue to creep up, is a gamble that has not paid off for anyone who's been playing it for the last 2 years. The buyers are here. The demand is real. The only question is, are the right homes available for them to buy? If you own a home in Bayside and you've been thinking about selling, whether it's this year, next year, or just someday, here's what I want you to take away from this video. Your home is probably worth more than you think. The data supports it. We are in a market where a 1,200 square foot cape on a standard lot in Bayside clears $900,000 or more. If you bought your home in the last 10, 15, 20 years, the equity you've built is substantial. That window matters. Spring is historically the strongest selling season in Bayside. Inventory picks up, but so does buyer activity, and the spike in buyer tends to outpace the spike in inventory. If you're considering listing in the next 60 to 90 days, represent one of the strongest opportunities of the year. Condition and pricing are everything. The homes that sold fast in the data, the ones that closed in 7, 14, 21 days, they were not necessarily the nicest homes. They were the best positioned homes. Right price, clean presentation, and good marketing, that is a strategy, and it's one that I help my sellers execute very often. Don't rely on Zillow to price your home. I showed you a home on Corporal Kennedy Street. Zillow's estimate was for around $1,266,000, and it actually sold for $1,258,000. That's actually pretty close. But I've seen Zillow's estimates in the neighborhood that are off by $150,000 in both directions. The algorithm doesn't know your renovated kitchen, it doesn't know the school boundary line, it doesn't know that your block has no traffic, and a neighbor who wins the garden competition every year. A real CMA from a local expert, that's what tells the real story. And if you're a buyer considering Bayside, I'll be honest with you, this is not a bargain market. It has not been for years, and it's not going to become one. You will not find a deal in Bayside by waiting. What you'll find is that every year you wait, the entry price is higher and higher. What you will find, if you're strategic, is an opportunity at the edges. Homes that need work, home with longer days on the market where a seller is motivated, estates, off-market opportunities that come through a well-connected local agent. If you're a buyer, the best thing you can do now is get pre-approved, know your number, and be ready to move. Because in this market, the home you want goes fast. Bayside rewards the prepared buyer. So there you have it. Bayside Queens, real numbers, real data, real perspective. 81 sold single-family homes, a median price hovering around 1.1 to 1.2 million. Homes moving in under 30 days when priced right. School District 26 as one of the strongest educational foundations in New York City, a community that continues to attract buyers from every corner of the city and beyond. If you want to know specifically what your home is worth in today's market, not a Zillow estimate, not a guess, I offer free, no obligation CMAs for Bayside homeowners. Link is in the description, or you can call or text me directly. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps Queens homeowners find this information. Subscribe if you want monthly market updates for Bayside, Little Neck, Douglaston, and beyond. And drop a comment below. Tell me what neighborhood you want me to cover in my next video. I'm Maureen Folan, your Queens real estate expert. I'll see you in the next one.